You're watching 10 News Presents the Miramar Air Show, sponsored by Coleman University.
All right, here's something that you don't get to do all the time. Here's something you never get to do, actually. We're going to take you out here on the tarmac right now for the air show. This is a place that is restricted just for the people, the Marines here with the MCAS Miramar. Take a look at that. How cool is that? We're right here on the flight line right now. These are the announcers that you can see just right over here on my shoulder. He's got a little iPad and he's just talking about what's going on. He knows all the pilots that are out here, just giving information. So that's the voice that you hear from the speakers as you're coming here to the air show.
If they made it all the way to the advanced trainer that you see here today.
Tell me about meeting some of these pilots. I mean, these are pretty incredible individuals, aren't they?
They are, and some of them are very humble about it too. Most of them are, because it can be a very dangerous sport. When you're doing aerobatics, when you're flying, you put as much risk as you want into it, and risk and sometimes is altitude, and a lot of times these performers trying to do a show right in front of everybody, are dropping it down where we don't have any of that reserve anymore. So everybody's really focused, and it's really interesting when you're talking to people and you can tell when their performance is coming up, because they kind of might separate from the crowd a little bit and start to focus and rehearse and kind of get into that right frame of mind so they can do a safe, good show.
Well, tell me first of all, what's your job here on the flight line?
I represent the administrator for the FAA. I am the inspector in charge that oversees the waiver that's been issued for this particular event.
And this is all about safety as far as you're concerned?
Correct. That everything is properly done in order to protect the general public who's obviously watching something that doesn't happen on a regular basis in front of a general populace like this.
A big part of the air show is introducing the public to new military technology.
And Steve, I had a chance to talk to a couple of pilots who showed us some unbelievable equipment. One was an unmanned aircraft. All right, wait till you see this new gadget. This is a good one. This is the Marines' new toy. Captain Michael MANNA is joining us now to explain it.
So this in front of us is the RQ-21 Blackjack. It is the latest Marine Corps unmanned aircraft that we've just recently purchased.
Okay, what does it do and when do you send it up?
So primarily it has an ISR mission for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. And we do that primarily through the pod, which is in the front, which is our camera. We have our day camera and our night camera all together.
And what do you use this for? What kind of reconnaissance? Is it just anything that the military does?
Typically we're going to be in support of the ground commander, so it's whatever the ground commander is looking for. That could be staring at a house to get a pattern of life, or that could be actively following an individual on the ground, trying to figure out where they're going, who they're talking to.
Okay, so how many people control this thing?
2 people control this aircraft. There'll be someone who's in charge of flying the aircraft itself, and then there'll be a payload operator as well, and they both sit together. They operate out of the same station.
And you have a cord in your hand. Tell me about how that works.
Yeah, so this cord I have here for demonstration purposes. The aircraft launches off of a catapult, which is onto a trailer. So you see it doesn't have any wheels on it, so in order for us to recover, we use a skyhook system. So a rope will be suspended in the air and the aircraft will fly into it. It'll hit the leading edge and it'll begin sliding down until it reaches the wingtip where it gets captured. At that point, the aircraft will cut its engine and stop on the rope, and we'll go ahead and pull it down and load it back onto this cart at the end of the mission.
Thank you so much, Captain MANNA.
Thank you.
Now let's watch the left thumb of the pilot pulling back click by click by click as it transitions.
And I also had a chance to talk to the pilot of an Osprey. Major Andy Schilling is the pilot of this beautiful aircraft behind me. Tell me the name of it, and is it a chopper or is it an airplane?
Well, it's an MV-22 Osprey, and it's really both. It can take off and land like a helicopter, but then it can rotate the nacelles down, which you see right here. It can rotate them down, and then it can fly like an airplane.
Tell me a little bit about these.
All right, so what we wanted was to be able to transport the aircraft, or the Marines, just like we would in a normal helicopter, but go farther, faster. And that's really what this aircraft gives us. So the big transformative technology is this nacelle. So it starts out vertical, which allows you to take off and land just like a helicopter. It can do everything a helicopter can do, including externaling loads underneath it. But then you can rotate those nacelles down and fly as fast and as far as an airplane.
That's incredible. Tell me a little bit about the cockpit. What makes it unique?
Well, it's a fully modern cockpit, so it's got all glass cockpit, modern avionics. but also it had to make some special accommodations in order to be able to do that tilt rotor thing by rotating those rotors down. And so there's a thrust control lever, but it does different things. If you're a helicopter, that's going to change your altitude. If you're an airplane, that's going to change your airspeed. And then you've got a thumb wheel where you're actually physically controlling where those nacelles are.
Incredible. So this is probably the coolest part for me. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, this is a refueling probe, and they've been common on jet aircraft for a long time. But what really makes it unique on this aircraft is not only do we increase the range by being able to fly as an airplane, which makes the aircraft more fuel efficient, but the fact that we can refuel in flight basically gives us an infinite distance that we can travel.
Major Andy Schilling, an amazing aircraft. Thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Well, it's an honor.
The air show is a huge 3-day event, and all the money goes back to help Marines.
All the money raised from the air show goes into our Marine and Family program, so it goes back to the Marines and sailors here and their families to ensure that they have the best quality of life possible. For example, the Single Marine program. It's a program in place to let all the Marines and sailors get opportunities to different sporting events, different TV shows, the movie theater, special rates to movies there, different things like that that just kind of can enhance their quality of life while they're in the service. So the air show is our one opportunity of the year that we can invite the San Diego community out, see what we do every day, show off our Marines and sailors and our aircraft, and it's just our chance to thank the community for their support every year.
And we've got a lot more ahead, more behind the scenes at the air show.